discuss. But our first topic is going to be, what are your interests outside of work? I gotta know. I have to know.
I'm a really boring person.
I am too. So just lay it on me.
But I'm
Just tell me.
not. But I'm not. For a normal person, normal people are like, what the fuck? But like, to people that like are in my industry, they look at me and they're like, you're boring as fuck. I don't leave my house much. I like to garden. I'm starting that. That's a new hobby. Video games. Love to video game. Love to tabletop game.
Okay, so like D&D and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What kind of video games?
Fuck me, I'm all across the board. um,
Me too.
so like some of my tops, the Legend of Zelda franchise. I even have one of the songs from Ocarina of Time tattooed. So like hardcore Legend of Zelda fan. Fable, ooh, OG Fable and Fable Anniversary, love. 2 and 3, trash. Skyrim, love it. The Phantasy Star Online 2. It was worth the wait.
It's
It was
been a
worth
hot
the
minute
wait.
since I've seen a Phantasy Star. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I throw people off. I like I'm across the board. Dokapon Kingdom. One of my best videos is with Dokapon Kingdom. Yeah, that's I'm a boring person. Um, I occasionally will dive into my local kink scene and like go to the BDSM club. That's really about it for in terms
I
of
have a
like what I do.
story about that. Okay. My day job is a delivery driver, right? And look, I kid you not, there was this one package I was delivering and it was it was marked. Like it wasn't one of those unmarked packages like that you normally get from Amazon, but it was, about the length of a whole table and it was a giant dong. And the note said, "Please leave on corner and leave message," right? Okay, fine. Well, this was in the middle of downtown next to a bunch of bars. So I done exactly what it said. I, put a message in there in my little delivery app. And by the time I turned back around, someone had done smuggled off with it. And I don't know where they went, how
They
they
were
got
waiting
this
by
thing
the
out.
door.
Yeah, exactly. And they just poof. And I was like, where on earth is this thing going?
The club I
Well,
frequent has like 3 different hidden entrances,
Yep.
passageways. Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
they are plotted very meticulously with what's going on.
Well, I found out that it was near this Stagger Inn bar, so it fit in perfectly. Stagger Inn.
Like,
I actually have a story about that myself. I used to work at Amazon, and
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
my la- my last night there, I had to go pick 2 dildos, and one was like double ended.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the plan was with that. But then, fast forward a little bit, my friend that works at the return center actually returned it,
Oh, no.
and it,
Oh, no,
and it
no,
was
no.
used, and it was
No, no.
used. and the
Now,
reason why and the reason why it was returned is because it was too small. I can't
Too
make this
small.
up. I can't make this up. Like, that's
okay,
legitimately why it was returned.
like my half body one arrived damaged, so like I had to return it because it arrived broken. But like, not
Too small, though.
And I was thinking, like, okay, I
the
picked
small
that,
ones need love too. Like,
but
That's what we
but
say to
here's
the guys, too.
no,
wow,
I
really.
mean, like, I know people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're like a normal sized human being." No, I'm not. I'm small. Um, and when like people meet me IRL, they're like, "Holy shit, you're tiny," and I'm like, I told you, like I warned you.
So that brings me to my next question. So you've got like this world record. Two of them, two of them. Okay. I want you to talk about those. Like, explain them to me.
So sexualworldrecords.com. Oh, those guys are amazing. They reached out to me after I went to Why Not Community and their award show. And he reached out to me and he's like, you realize you broke a world record, right? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, well, because of what you have in your profile on Twitter. In my bio at the time, I had first cam girl to be set on fire. Because, frankly, I never seen or heard of a cam girl lighting herself on fire or getting lit on fire. And that's what I did. I went and I got to work with Cord Newman, and he was absolutely amazing. Cord was phenomenal. He works out in a lot of different films in Hollywood industry, specifically with stunts. He has quite a history with being set on fire, and he crash coursed me, made sure I knew what the hell I was doing, and lit me up. It was so much fun.
Okay, so I have so many questions now. So how did you never hear, you're right, you never hear of a cam girl getting set on fire.
While streaming.
Why was that was it just for the stun itself, or did it have a further purpose?
So I'm a masochist.
No, okay. That's what it is.
And I like hot. I really particularly like branding. I like fire play. I like anything to do with fire. I like just playing with fire. It's just fun. But I was in Florida with one of my camera guys that was very lucky to work with, and with a friend of mine who's a lunar. Her name is Miss Lucy. She's awesome girl. We did a pretty chill ass collab, but we were just chatting and like talking shit, and he just looks over and he's like, "Do you want to be set on fire?" And I was like, "You're fucking with me. Like, you're not serious. Like I was just like, this isn't real. He's bullshitting me." Cause and he's like, "I can make it happen." And I was like, "Bet. Okay, like, fuck yeah, make it happen. Fuck yeah, make it happen. You can light me on fire. Fuck yeah, make it happen." And
like shooting you out of a cannon, just do it.
Oh my god, it's like the wildest. It started with like we were just gonna light, like I was gonna hold fire. That's where it started, and then it just kind of massively evolved. We lit up a Corvette, and we had like light pipes and like fire columns behind me, like lighting a car on fire behind me, and my arms and back were lit. And I was just like, this is really just totally different than what we were going to do originally, and I loved it. I was just like, this is awesome.
It was like
guys,
improv. It was like improv.
It took like 2 days for us to build. We had like qualified certified engineers on it. It was so chill. It was so awesome. Like it was one of the coolest things ever. My guys were all just like, "She's gonna die."
Well, luckily you didn't, because you ended up getting a second world record.
Yes. So when we were talking about that one, like I had asked, like, questioning it, thinking about a live stream I had done when I was camming, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, what's the longest somebody's ever ridden a Sibian? And he's like, I'm gonna look into that. Gets back to me. It was like 30 something minutes, and I was like, oh, I've already technically broken that, because I did like a 3-hour straight stint on live. That was a fun night. That was a fun night. It was a really good night. But he's like, I was like, I can break that, and he's like, bet, do it. So I did, and then I actually wound up breaking my own record again and making it longer. So I've just I'm just gonna decimate my own record, and then I'm gonna do it on my Motor Bunny next time, I think. Very excited. Very much recommend. Like it better than the Sibian. Just recommend. Get yourself one today. So, there's restraint points on it. Like, yes. Sorry, had to get that out.
Oh, it's
Very-
okay. It's okay. So is that how you got your nickname Iron Clit?
Yes, I was talking with one of my friends, and she just called me the Iron Clit, and I about died laughing.
And you just went with it. You just rolled.
I just was like, after like the next day or two, I was like, this is fucking perfect. Like, I'm using this. So I give Maya Romero complete credit for that, because it's not me. But I loved it, and I've just it's so true. It's like my clit is iron strong.
Wow. So here's
For my Game of Thrones fans, it's Ironborn tough.
Oh my god.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like Game of Thrones. So I like that.
We just binged it on date night. I do date night one day a week with my fan club, where we just go in Discord, we chill, we watch movies. Some days we'll video game. We binged Game of Thrones the past couple months.
Yep.
Got through
You
it
know-
all. We just finished it like last week.
On a side note, on the Game of Thrones thing, I was very disappointed in that last season. I know that sounds really, cliche, because everyone else was too, but
Really,
There-
I have to say, I just saw it, and everybody was telling me like how disappointed they were. They wrapped it really neatly. Is it what Martin would have wanted? No, but like also he can just devolve and make it into like a Full Metal Alchemist situation, and he can just continue on like they never ended it like that, and he can just continue on with his original plans. Like,
I guess it would depend on how they've contracted. If I can talk today. I guess it depends on how they've contracted it too, to see if they could continue it that way. But honestly, I don't see them continuing it in any sort
well,
of
no, I
form
mean
way.
in the book. Like, I
Oh,
know
yeah.
he's not done writing the book, so he can just continue it. I think that's why they wrapped it so neatly, and I like how neatly they wrapped it. It was not what I was expecting at all.
No,
It
really was not.
But definitely, I liked it. It was a nice, clean ending, and I do like an occasional tidy ending. A lot of times they're not like
Squeaky clean.
they're not happy. It was a bit of a fuck off to Jon Snow to just send his ass back to the wall. Go freeze your balls off for all eternity. King of
So-
the North.
Yeah, King of the North. So
Enjoy the far north, fucker. Like,
maybe he needs to
Jesus.
get a stuntman to set him on fire.
Oh, good.
Wow. This
So
quickly divulged.
okay, so back on the topic. There is another thing I have to ask is, when you first started doing your streams and things like that, did you have any like anxiety or like shyness about it? How'd you get over it?
I never did.
You never did?
I'm anxious as hell. I'm having a panic attack right now.
Well, you're wearing it lovely.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I still get nervous doing interviews, and I've done like 4.
But that's different. That's an interview. This is getting
But-
naked on camera, Mike.
Okay.
See, that had no problem with that. It was no issue with that. No problem. I was just like, oh, you want to see titties? Like, that's fine. Here, have titties. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll get naked on cam. I don't care. I took naked photos and had them on FetLife long before I did this industry. So like that, no stranger to that. That wasn't what like was hard. It was when I get anxious, I get quiet, or sometimes I just am quiet when I'm masturbating, and it's like that's not entertaining. Or sometimes when I get anxious, I get really overly chatty. And it's harder when it's like you're talking to a blank wall. And sure, people are talking to you in chat, but it's not the same as like a group conversation, you know? And I was just like, I'm so boring. What do I do?
That was another question I had. How do you keep people engaged so they keep coming back for your shows?
Okay, so there's a lot of cam girls who do not do what I do. There's a ton of them.
I mean, how
There's
many
a
set
ton of
themselves on
them
fire?
that don't. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of us, but not a lot do what I do. I don't do a cam persona. I am me in all of my nerdy, neurodivergent glory. So I'm very honest with my fans about that. Like, I kept them updated on my life. Very open, very transparent with them. I almost went the route of, not almost, I did. I'm very close friends with some of my fans. Some of my biggest supporters I'm like this with. And it formed genuine friendships. There's a lot of cam girls that say that's like suicide in the terms of like industry, and in my case I've been lucky enough it hasn't been that. They've supported me through about a year-long hiatus from active camming.
Now, see, the
At
only
this
thing that
point.
I would have worried about that part is the fact that there's a safety concern, because are you ever worried for your safety? Like someone stalking you or finding you or anything like that?
I've been stalked by my ex-boyfriend. Y'all, you can't do worse than having your social security number released to tens of thousands of people, which he did to me. So, I mean, like, after that, like, I went through that hell before I did this. So I'm kind of like, if somebody wants to stalk me, yo, good luck. I got a lot of fucking guns. Stand your ground law, castle law. I'm in a nice area where walk in my front door. It's not going to end well for you.
Well, especially especially if it's something like I could imagine you. No offense here, but I could imagine you just throwing like a dildo at them and just sticking it to their head and just confusing them.
I would.
They would
I
just be
would
so
chuck a
confused.
bad dragon. I would just like reach over to the wall and be like, "Ugh," and just start pelting. I have no shame.
Like
I
one of the
would.
Demogorgon ones, just smack them with it.
Oh, I will chuck my large Fenrir, and like that fucker is like almost 3 pounds. Like that's gonna disorient somebody for at least 10 seconds, and also just, is that
Confuse
a dick
them.
flying at my head?
You
I'm
came to the
sorry,
wrong house.
You
I'm
came to
sorry
the
that
wrong house.
Like, I'm sorry that I spaced out for a minute there, but I was just envisioning that scene in my head. Just the
So
reaction.
I need to get somebody in here like to film this as a joke parody.
that would be hilarious. Like just suction it, or like, what if you just threw it and it just suctioned itself to the wall behind them? Imagine how confused they would be. Like, did that just almost hit me? Was that a dick?
I have
What?
some that would put holes in the wall. So like,
There you go, though.
and then I mean, like, God forbid, if I have enough time and you're disoriented enough, I'm throwing the Sibian at your head. Good fucking luck combating that shit. It's heavy. Like, it's gonna break. I might not hit you in the face with it, but I'm gonna at the very least get your toes. Like,
Or get your nads. Totally
I'm
get your
gonna get
nads.
something. I'm gonna buy time. Like, I'm gonna start flinging the keyboard. The dildo gag is just gonna go flying and just thwap him in the throat. Cock slap him real good.
Make sure to put a little bit of lube on there. Extra warming jelly.
Oh, I mean, like, hell, all I need to do is just turn around, just reach over here, grab my jar of lube, and just, like, shoop on the floor. You can, like...
It'll be like a banana peel.
Yeah, it'll be like one of those old school cartoons, you know, like... That's... This is a wrong house. I will go as far as I will throw the bongs. Don't make me. These are
Not
heavy.
the bongs.
Yeah, but these are heavy. I will fuck a bitch up with these.
Yeah,
if I need to.
Last resort. Last resort.
Last resort. Last resort. I will go to the fist. I will go to the mat first, but like, if I need to, I mean, metal water bottle. I got a lot of things over here that are just, you don't want to be whacked with.
Right.
And
Right.
there's a lot of projectile stuff. I want to get a crossbow. That's my next one.
Crossbow for the dildos.
Yes,
though.
I want to.
Just
No, I want to try crossbow hunting. One of my friends has talked me into it, and I want to go to upstate New York and go chill and do that. And I think it's going to be fun. So that's what
that
I'm
sounds
gonna
like
do.
it'd be cool. Some Game of Thrones stuff right there.
I'm going hunting this fall.
Go see the North Wall. So that's another thing I wanted to ask too. Like, you were talking about relationships with like your fans and how close you are with them. What about, like, okay, how does your cam girl life affect your relationships, like romantic relationships? Like,
don't
does it
have any.
affect them? You don't? Would it
No.
affect it then? Were you
I mean,
constantly
like,
doing like sexual things? Like, would it affect the sexual aspect of that life?
no, I mean, I view work and life very different. I mean, like, I love what I do. It's sexy, it's fun, but it's different than, because I am solo, it is different than having sex with somebody. Like, it's not the same as getting the embrace, the kissing, the romance, that physical touch, that sensation, those needs met. So it's definitely different. What I do is just pure fucking smut. Like, I'm horny. I'm just making this because I'm horny. Enjoy. Like, I'm just a fetishy slut. Sorry.
See, that's another thing I wanted to ask too, is do you cater to things like kinks?
Oh gosh, yes. I cater to a wide variety of kinks, some that I do not have, a lot that I have. Like, I'm getting into foot and shoe fetish now, and that's something I never imagined myself getting into in the past, and I'm like really excited to finally be getting there. You okay over there, Mike?
I'm good. I had something bite my leg.
Well, you might want to get that looked at.
It's fine. It's all good. I'll check it later. Okay.
Purge it with fire.
Purge it with like. I mean, I could use candle wax. I mean, that could work.
Purge it with ice.
Fire.
North wall.
Okay.
Fire is the answer. Look, the North Wall is cool and all, but like, I was Team Daenerys up until like she fucking burned the city. Honestly, I was with her up until then, and then I was just like, when she died, I was like, well, you're a dumb bitch. You deserved it.
Totally.
Like, you went too far.
You went too far.
You fucked up.
Just a smidge too far. Just a little.
Just a hair. Just a hair.
That much.
Yeah.
So, you said that you went on like a year-long hiatus, right?
It's been under a year, but it's gonna probably be about a year. I took a mental health break. When I was camming, I was doing it 24/7. So I burnt out. I burnt out hard.
That's why I was going to ask. How do you keep the motivation to keep doing it?
For me, I do it full time. So it was pay rent, pay bills, pay money, because I have needs. At any time, once I made my quota to fulfill that, it was because I wanted to be there. Like, I understand a lot of girls do it for a lot, and guys, everybody does it for a different reason. For me, the motivation was just, I enjoy the company. I don't date. I don't really have interest in finding a partner. This is the first time in my life I've been single. I've been single for about 2 years, and I was always really clingy and always in a relationship, and it's been really empowering to be single and like be by myself and standing on my own. And I'm not ready to give that up yet.
See, that's the thing about relationships. Like, okay, I myself have tried that whole dating thing, and most people want to just hit it and quit it, and I'm not into that. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, they really do. They just want to talk for like a day, and then they want to meet up, hit it, and then leave. And I don't understand
when
why.
I do date, I pity the poor fucker that does. Because the first thing he's going to have to do is prove to me you're not with me just because I do adult content.
Give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 second.
Of course.
But I do have one question for you.
Yes.
I've seen some of your content, and I'm going to ask you, do you prefer solo videos or do you prefer being with somebody in your videos?
Okay.
I think they're two very different things. Back in the day when I had a male partner, and that I know there's been a whole bunch of rumor speculations I was really dating him. I used to date him many years ago. We dated for like 3 months, and we both looked at each other and we're like, we're fucking miserable. We made better friends. This sucks. So went back to being friends. During COVID pandemic, he took me in. I was homeless. So I used him like a human meat popsicle while I started work.
Okay. Gotta pay that rent.
gotta get that rent. So
Hey, at least you gave me an honest answer. Okay.
that was very different. That was a very different time in my life. I did not enjoy that type of content creation with another person. When I did content creation with Miss Lucy, that was a whole different ball game. I had so much fun. It was work, don't get me wrong, but like we had a blast. We're real life friends too, so I think that's like a really big helping factor. But like I love her face, and like before our shoot in the hotel room in the sex swing, I was on the stripper pole holding onto it for dear life, going, what am I doing? And just sliding down, and like she's on the floor dying laughing, and that was like 5 minutes prior. Like, you can't ask for a better work environment.
Okay, so I have to ask about the stripper pole. Does it spin or do you
No.
spin?
It didn't spin.
Okay.
I've never been on a stripper pole before, and I booked the room because I thought it was a self-spinning one, because I was like, I can figure it out. I've been watching YouTube tutorials, like I can figure out a few things just for a few pictures, like, and maybe a few funny videos. And I went and leaped onto that thing, and it just was solid. And I was like, oh, that doesn't spin. And I just went and like hit the ground.
Like flubber on the wall.
Just you just plopped Vix down.
Oh, that's
I just looked up and I was like, I thought it spun.
Oh
See,
my
that's
God.
what I was thinking. I've always been told like they spin on their own, and
Some
I didn't
do,
know there
some
were.
don't. Some
I
do,
didn't know
some
there were
don't.
different ones. I was like,
Old
they do
school
not
clubs.
spin.
Old school clubs have ones that do not spin, and like props to those strippers. They have like I could never. I could never. I want one. I want a stripper pole. I feel one would look good right here. It would just be perfect right here. And it's like I have enough room. I want one, but like I want one that spins, so I don't die.
It's called Amazon. Amazon's got everything.
I got one on my wish list. One of the boys just needs to get me one. Like, damn.
I'd be afraid those would just fall.
No, they have some really good ones. They're like tension. They're like tension oriented. And also, like, I am not above actually permanently installing. I own the house, so like, what landlord's gonna yell at me?
That's a good point.
Like, who's gonna yell at me? I get to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I'm very excited. Like, I've been renovating the backyard. I'm about to renovate that, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this into content. I'm gonna do like so freaking much. I'm gonna rip all that red fugly stone out. Sorry, I've had hatred with that stone.
Oh, it's okay. I have stuff about my own apartment and stuff I hate, but no one's gonna change that.
This is my first time owning a home, and I'm just like, I can do whatever I want.
See, I've got a garden space that I can do that. It's like I have this little garden space right next to my apartment, and it's amazing. You could plant whatever you want to, as long as it's not invasive, which who really wants invasive? But you can plant whatever you want. You could decorate it sort of however you want. You can't put a big middle finger out there if you wanted to, but
now, how public is it? Would you get in trouble with the police if you grew the marijuanas?
It's out in the country.
I'm asking the important questions here, okay?
It's out in the country, and it's like if you kind of hid it a little bit between other plants, I don't think they would really notice.
Well, I mean, we grow tobacco in Kentucky, so it could work.
Yeah. See, here's my thing. I don't understand this. They just recently technically legalized marijuana in our state, right? Technically. Well, THC has been legalized for like a few years now, but you still can't technically smoke the plant. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
You're supposed to vaporize the plant, or you're supposed to extract it, make it into oils and tinctures and edibles. That's what the law implies. So it's keeping it away from stoners. But let's be real, like 90% of us are.
Exactly. No, and here's another thing. THC is legal, But if you take THC in any sort of form and it shows up positive on a piss test, you're going to get denied a job, even though it's completely legal, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Although I do have to say, I have to give a shout out. Amazon was one of the first ones that was like, yeah, we're not even going to pay attention to marijuana results. And I'm just like, thank you, finally.
Like, finally, someone understands.
I mean, like, let's be real. Stoners been getting around that for a long time. We'll still probably continue to get around that for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the one here. Oh, God, it's so easy.
I've
Look,
never.
I've delivered so much DoorDash to the one on Newtown Pike. It's not even funny. You know they have to be stoners.
No, see, I have never had to fake a piss test in my life. I did fail one once, but I just looked at the manager and I was like, it was in my innocent days when I was like first started being a stoner, and like you looked at me and it was before the green hair, and like you looked at me and everybody thought I was so fucking innocent. I don't understand like what it is about me. People look at me and they're like, oh, you're just so cute innocent, and I'm just like, oh, if only
Like, oh, you're just a baby.
like, if only you knew I had a wall of dildos, like a wall. Like, I have more sex toys than most people have anything, like kitchen cutlery, like fucking Christ. So it's like, so she was like, well, you failed, you tested positive for marijuana, and like, you don't seem that type. And I was like, no, I'm not a stoner at all. Actually, so like, it's really embarrassing. A few weeks ago, I was at my friend's house, and like, she's a stoner, and like, I have friends that are stoners, and I ate the wrong plate of brownies.
Oh my God.
That was totally the lie I used. That was the lie I used.
That was me. Okay, so I have a friend, right?
She believed it. I got the job. She believed me.
So I've got a friend, and her child plays with my child. They go to the same school and everything. So we're really close friends. And she lives in the apartment upstairs from me. Well, one day she comes up to me and she's like, girl, you got to try this. And I said, what is it? She said, it's an edible. And I said, okay. And I literally had that same reaction. These edibles ain't shit, right? So, but it was this big chocolate ball. You see my palm here. It was about this big. Okay.
This is about fucked up story. This is you fucked up.
Yep.
I know where this is going.
Now, getting drunk and stuff.
Shit.
Yep, getting drunk and stuff, that's one thing, it's you get used to it, right?
Edible highs are a whole different ball game.
Look.
I trip balls down the streets of fucking LA, full-on hallucinations at anything in reflections and shiny would set it off for like hours. So like, I feel you. Like, edibles are no fucking joke. If you do not know what you're doing with them, do not touch them.
Well, see, here's what happened to me. Like, it was a big chocolate ball, right?
You fucked up.
And so I was taking it in little pieces. Like, I was breaking off pieces of it and eating it. And I would wait a few minutes, like 30 or so minutes. And I was like, it's really not doing anything. So I just went ahead and finished it.
Yeah, you did what I did. You did what I did. That's exactly what I did. I was at a friend's party, and I was like, I had a couple, and I was like, oh, I'm a little high, and then it went away after a little bit, and then so I took another handful, and I was like, oh, now I'm a little high. So then I started spacing them out, figuring I would maintain the high, and that's not how that worked.
No,
it's not how that works, people. For any baby edible babies out there, that is not how that works. Don't do it. You will regret. Much regret.
No, here's what every day. So I ate the entire chocolate ball, and I was just like, okay, it's not doing anything. I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap, right? I woke up from that nap so fucking high. I woke up. I got on the phone with Mike. I was texting him. I said, dude, I am so fucked.
Did you just wake up and you were like, am I alive?
Yes,
like, what happened? How am I high?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I woke up and it was
fucked up.
I woke up and it was just like, whoa.
Like,
so fun fact, they can take up to like 5 hours to kick in for some people.
It was hilarious though, because like I woke up and I was texting Mike, and like I had the most awful giggle fit. Like everything was making me giggle. It was hilarious. And I was even like on a voice message with Mike, like Mike, and it's like I couldn't even say
Help
anything because I
me.
was laughing. And he said, "You are fucked." And I said, "You're right." And so
I
then,
called my mom and she's like, what fucking drugs did you take? Cause I'm like yelling at her to kill me. Like I'm like lost my
look,
mind, tweaking out like I'm on a bad trip here. And I'm just like, ah. And
look,
she's
my
just like,
mother,
what drugs are you on? My best friend takes the phone and goes, she ate some edibles. And my mom goes, how many did she fucking eat? Like the whole bag. And she goes, well,
yeah, sorta.
basically, yeah,
No,
2 of
see,
them.
my mother is a 70-year-old, straight and narrow Christian woman. And she tried to call me. She tried to call me while I was high. I was sitting here so high I couldn't even. Okay, let me explain how high I was. I went on Hulu, right? I got me a snacky. I got on Hulu. I
Got
was
you a
gonna load a
snack.
I was gonna load a fucking movie. And I went to take a bite of my snacky. And by the time I turned back around, the credits were rolling. I said, "Where the fuck did my movie go?"
The highest I ever was, I ate 2 MREs and a large pizza, pepperoni and garlic pizza by myself.
Damn.
It hurt. My stomach hurt. Like I had a pregnant food baby belly. Like that shit hurt. It was great. Yeah. So welcome. This is basically what I do on stream. I just sit, I bullshit with my guys. We talk about random stuff. I smoke. We hang
But
out.
it's fun. No, see,
I
back on my mother. Look, she's 70-year-old straight and narrow Christian, right?
oh God, no.
And she called me after I had my snacky stuff, right? And I have seen these end credits out of nowhere when I expected a movie. She calls me, and it's has it how it says send a message instead. So I was sending a message, but I was like, I can't just tell her I was high, right? So I sent her a message, and instead of just saying I'm unavailable, I said, "Mom, I'm high as fuck on an edible. Call back tomorrow." So she calls me at like 6 a.m. the next morning, 2 or 3 times, and she's like, "Are you okay?" Here I am, hung over high, like where you're still high, but you're aware. And I said, "What?" And she said, "Are you
Yeah.
okay?" And I said, "Mom, I am still high as fuck. What are you talking about?"
Like I am great, mother. Like I am doing. See, my mom is a 50-year-old fucking stoner. Like hardcore to the max.
So she was
like,
cool. She was just like, "Oh yeah," just
oh my
that's the way
God.
it
When
is.
I told her I started smoking weed, she goes, "Good, you fucking needed it." And she, like, this is back when we spoke. But like, she's like, "Good, you fucking needed it." And I'm like, yeah. No, like she and I smoked together. Like I have videos using her bong collection. Like she knows what I like. My whole family knows everything about what I do. I'm very lucky.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a family like that. Meanwhile, my family is just, the down south Christians.
Oh, don't worry. They're all super Roman Catholic. Like none of them approve. Like deep down, like secretly, like they
Right.
don't actually approve. But as my father's words are, "You're an adult, and I can't stop you."
That was the most confusing thing when I turned 18. Like, I lived with my dad. Like, of course, I'm far from 18 now, but
I'm 29 and I'm still confused that I
Me
can do
too.
whatever the fuck I want. I'm like,
me too.
I sat here. I had the biggest debate ever. I was like, what the fuck am I going to tapestry the walls with? What am I going to do to cover the walls in this cam room? Like, I hate this fugly beige that they had. The seller painted this house. Like, what color? Like, what am I going to do? What do I do in this situation? And then I just stopped and was like, dipshit, you can fucking paint it. My guys talked me out of sparkles. They I have bedazzled a lot, but like there's much glitter, much sparkle, much girly. But I really wanted to add sparkle in the paint, and they talked me out of it.
I still would have done it.
You could still do like the spray can sparkles.
No, I found some like alternatives. I think that would be too much. I've decorated sustainably with a lot of glitter and sparkle. I'm very happy with it. Like I'm very content with where it's at. I just need a couple of lamps and some other things here and there, and I'll be like fucking set. Some better lighting.
Some edibles.
Fuck yeah. Awesome edibles. Need all them edibles. But
Jesus
so
fucking
as well, I don't know if you guys happen to see the tweets. I also, as well as setting 2 sexual world records, I am also in the running for 2023 cover contest for Inked magazine.
I seen that.
I've been holding first in the contest in my group, majority of the competition, so fingers crossed. Like, just fingers crossed. I got
Cool.
Yeah,
everything
hopefully you
crossed.
do get it, or at least get very close, because that would be like huge. Well, I mean, not just the 2 world records you've already got.
Oh, I'm gonna have more. I've been conspiring with them, and I've been like, what's this one? I'm not even gonna name them because I don't want anybody like knowing what I'm up to with my secret plots over here. And I'm just, but
Little
like,
goblin over here just plotting.
I'm a gerblin. I'm a gerblin. The joke is that this. I told the guys in my fan club, we call this my gerblin lair. I am half goblin, half gremlin. Don't get me wet, and don't feed me after midnight.
Good God.
But what if you get fed in other ways?
Wow. Really? Damn.
I went there. Or what if you got wet in other ways? I mean, what if you got wet past midnight or something? I mean, just
I mean,
how does that work?
getting me wet and drinking water, but like getting me wet past it, those are 2 very different things. Hold on, like you gotta hear it with the tone that you're using here. Like 2 very different things. Like they
I don't
can
know,
get
man.
me wet anytime they want. Like, hey.
I don't know, man.
Oh
Some
my
women they can
God.
squirt and it counts just like water.
I need the fuck machine to do that, but like I'm downsies. I'm always downsies for a good squirt session.
Well, I don't have any more
Make it
questions
rain.
right now.
Gotta make it rain.
Like, I'm
Mike,
That's
what are your
true.
at this point.
questions?
Like, it's more of a comment, really. Whenever I heard Iron Clit, the first thing that popped into my head, because I do a wrestling podcast, was that's a great wrestling name.
Yeah, he did say that.
I thought it was a suit. Like I was like, this is a superhero name or like a sidekick name. You know, like I need the Pussy Puncher and the Iron Clit.
Sort of like the coon from South Park, Cartman. The coon.
Yes.
But
Yes.
like, that's legitimately what I thought when I first saw it. I'm like, because like I had this idea like 3 or 4 years ago, and I actually pitched it to Brazzers. They never did it. I was
Of
gonna
course
do
not.
really. I was gonna do a world porn league, and whenever I saw your name, I was like, that could work.
If I knew how to wrestle, I would maybe mark it off of that, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
It's not really that hard.
You want to
Just get in
throw
the mud a
me?
little bit. People go wild over that.
The second I would be slammed on the ground, I'd be like, harder, daddy. Like I would just be begging to fuck. Like it's I don't know if that's really conducive to a wrestling match because I would just be like, are you gonna fuck me already?
Come fuck me yourself.
I'm not even gonna try to wrestle. I'm gonna like just be getting to bend over and be like, take me from the back, and they'll just be like, boom, and I'll be like, oh, harder, daddy. Like it's not gonna.
And honestly, that was the idea of the show. It was gonna be a wrestling show parody. It was gonna be a wrestling show parody. That was the whole premise of it.
And instead of bringing out ladders and chairs and tables,
I just be like, you're gonna give me hugs.
They bring out dildos, slam them into a chair.
Well, I literally had a match concept in mind for it. It was going to be the golden dildo on a pole.
Please tell me that the championship belt was like had dildos and vaginas on it, because like
just one big clamshell in the middle.
That was actually
big clamshell.
That was actually what I was envisioning for the world title. I'm not joking.
I'm just saying, you could also for the grand prize, one of those torso dildos.
Right.
And
There you go.
like
That's an idea. That's an idea.
you could do the
I
one
still
with
might.
titties, the one
I
without
still
titties.
might.
You could do
Do it with
whatever one you
balls.
want. You could do the ball one. You could do the vagina one. You could do whatever one you want.
Do one that's got everything.
Oh, interchangeable parts.
No, look, okay, so I was on Amazon. I shit you not, guys. I was on Amazon one day and I was looking at this stuff, right? Because I was recently made aware that they did have the torso dildos, right? And there was one where it had boobs.
I will warn you. They're not the greatest.
Oh, I already know that.
Like, I will
But
warn you.
it had boobs, it had a penis,
Mhm.
it had a vagina, balls, and an asshole.
Damn.
I have not seen one with a vagina. Like, I got one with balls, and I mean, when I tell you the balls are like realistic balls, like it's pretty chill. But like, I used to torture the guys by just shoving a few fingers up the butthole with no lube and carrying him around by his butthole and swinging him around a little bit.
You know what? If Jesus didn't want people like men to be gay, why did he put the G spot in their butthole?
I don't believe in Jesus, so
No, I'm just saying. I mean, just come on now. I mean,
I went to Catholic school for a lot of years. Like, no hate, no nothing, but like I never had the answer to who created dinosaurs. Nobody ever answered that.
honestly, I will be 100%. I don't believe in God and Jesus like typical people do. I think of it more like an energy. And that's kind of where I think it came from. Like, I do believe in like the evolution
fair.
concept.
That's fair. I see. I dig that. I like other people's concepts of religion. I like figuring it out. I see
I
so
like
many people get
discussions,
into
not
religious.
arguments.
Yes. I hate politics because it just always ends in arguments no matter
Yes.
what. You cannot have a conducive political conversation. But you can have a healthy religious conversation and hear a few different people's opinions if you're in the right crowd. If you're in the wrong crowd, oh boy.
Look, I blew my mother's mind, right? She's, like I said, she's 70 years old, hardcore Christian. I blew her mind with the concept of a childlike God. And basically, my idea was what if the Big Bang happened and God was just like this baby that had just been born and he didn't know anything or they didn't know anything to do with any of this stuff. So they just kind of played around with it. And then all of a sudden you have the planets, you have the sun, you have the stars, you have all this stuff and they're just playing with it. And we're like dolls in the dollhouse.
I think Rick and Morty did the best job explaining our universe. Does anybody remember the when Rick creates the mini-verse in the box and then that has the teeny-verse inside of it? We're the mini-verse. An alien species is just like watching us and being like, taking notes
see, that
over
would
us.
make
Like,
sense.
I just feel like we're a mini-verse and our alien overlords are out there somewhere.
On that
That's my
note,
theory.
on that note, I had a conversation with a friend the other day. I said, "What if geese evolved to live in space?" And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Do you know how fast we would?"
Chickens.
Yeah, I said, "Do you know how fast we would find out if there were aliens or not?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Have you seen how aggressive geese are here? Imagine if they were like on steroids in space."
Canada gooses are terrifying. They're majestics, but they are terrifying.
Oh, I'm not afraid of a goose. I was a farm kid, so I mean, I don't care. I'll square up.
Okay, now I do have a question.
Not to the
Did you
goose.
have what was your interest in the industry? Did it start off whenever you were like, 18 and older? Like when did your interest start in the industry?
That's a really vague question. There's a lot of like, why did I get into the industry, or like, when did I start getting into porn, or like, when did I start getting into kinky stuff? Like that's a really
Okay, when
I
did
need
you start
clarity.
getting into porn?
At an age I am not comfortable disclosing.
Like the rest of us.
Let's
The
just
rest
leave
of
it at that. Before I should have.
Same. Well, yeah, same.
We'll be nice and vague with before I should have.
Okay, so now let's go into the industry that you're in. When did you start getting interested in that?
So for me, I was not I want to do porn because it's empowering. It wasn't because of that. I was in need. I was a critical necessary. I was homeless when I started. I was disabled. I could not walk during COVID.
So how did that even work if you were homeless? Like, how did you do the content? And
I was couch crashing with the guy whose dick I was sucking.
okay.
So that
So
was
you weren't homeless like on the street
no.
street.
I
You were
avoided
just
that. I avoided that, thank God. No, I avoided. I've been there when I was 18. Don't ever want to do street again, and I avoided that. I couch crashed for a few years. Really, really sucks to have zero space to yourself and just pretty much live on a couch and live out of a suitcase. It sucks.
yeah,
But
Been there. I
definitely.
know.
it sucks, especially while making content with that mentality. And everybody's like, "Oh, I love your apartment," and it's like, I know other people are like, "Oh yeah," and they'll just let it roll off. And I was just like, I feel like that's lying. I can't do that to me. Like that's not something I wanted. So I was just truthful about my situation. I worked really hard to get out, and then recently have finally been able to break out of the survival sex work into I'm doing it now because I can. Really proud of that. It took a lot of fucking work.
Oh
I
Lot
would
of
yeah,
imagine.
definitely. Especially with all the competition that's out there.
Oh, competition, all the different sites, the fact that sites will start shutting down, doing content takedown. Like OnlyFans has just fucked our industry and fucked sex workers left and
OnlyFans
right.
is fucked anyway. Look, here's the
They
thing.
fucked us off.
So, well, see, I was thinking about making my own OnlyFans, just putting that out there. And the problem that I was running into was it would say that it couldn't see my image or whatever. And then it said that the content that was on my Instagram, my personal Instagram that they use to verify that you are an actual person, didn't match with the content that I was wanting to make. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? You can't put that kind of stuff on Instagram. I mean, Instagram will ban your account. What do you mean it doesn't match?
I'm lucky I had an account before they started that. So I've it just I've never had good instances with their support staff. There was an issue, and it affected a few thousand girls. Like there's Reddit forums about it where the resubscribe button just stopped working for people. So if you were auto subscribed, like if you were set to auto subscribe, your auto subscription just stopped and it unsubscribed you to that girl. People
Now,
were
see, I've
like,
heard a lot of
girls
things
were
about girls
losing
not getting paid too.
girl that's happens on quite a few platforms though. That's I mean it's sex work. You risk shady industry. You do take a risk. Um, Always look into the sites and to the background of the sites that you're about to sign up for, about to give your personal information for.
Right.
Um,
It's just
like
I was hearing it so much about the OnlyFans stuff, and I was just like, well, maybe it's a good thing I'm not getting signed up because there were things as recent as a couple of weeks ago where people were just having their funds repulled, and it's like that's
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's a lot of the girls don't like the site anymore, and they're gonna eventually get rid of us all, and that's like it's a fact of what's gonna happen eventually.
I've
And
been trying to get on Fansly.
I love Fansly.
Do you?
Faves Club is new, and I really like them too. Um, I recently became an ambassador for them. I really do like them. It's like Instagram, but porn Instagram. It's kind of fucking great. But it's like porn
And what's
Instagram
that?
crossed with Fansly.
Okay, I'm
Um,
back. Sorry, I
so
got a phone
it's
call.
oh, it's okay. Welcome back. It's called Faves Club.
Faves Club.
Faves Club. They're pretty chill. Like it so far has been a pleasant experience since I've been there. Um, I mean, it's really just it's just breaking out, finding the site that you do best, where you do best, your niche that you do best. Um, I am such an eclectic person normally that doing eclectic kink and doing everything and a little bit of everything kind of was really just kind of in my wave pool. Um, balloons. I'm gonna balloon content lately. I've been on some of that. It's
Yeah,
been fun.
see, the thing that gets me is I'm a plus size woman, like I'm a big lady, if you can't tell. But posting stuff, men are just total simps, and they're wanting to buy panties from me.
Do it.
Like, no, I am. I'm just saying, like, wow, like, just an overwhelming amount of men are just wanting to buy panties.
I would love to trade that with you. Unfortunately, I get a lot of love, but I unfortunately get a lot of hate as well.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
in
I
that
mean,
I'm in that body type where I'm skinny, so everybody's like, "Oh, fuck you, you're the skinny girl. You're skinny and pretty. You have no problems." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't have big tits." So then I get the, "Oh, you're a boy," and people then like picking fun at sensitive area kind of deals. I'm like, "No, my hair's literally down to my ass, and you're gonna call me a boy? I have a vagine."
it's like
Like,
you want to see it.
like buy a subscription, you can see it. Have fun, bitch. Like, no hate or anything, like, but you just don't just go and make assumptions and say hurtful comments. Like, I've had people make a lot of comments, and it sucks. There's a lot of "you should kill yourself" comments.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of other girls that have that kind of like they'll have content on there and then they're just at the bottom. It's like, oh, you should go kill yourself. You're doing the devil's work, blah, blah, blah.
Instant
And I'm
block.
just like, yeah,
Instant permanent block. Like, I have grown my thick skin where that shit used to bother me, and now it's just like, that's cute. Say
that's kind
something
of where I am
interesting.
because I've been bullied like all my freaking life for being bigger.
My
So I'm just
parents
like,
were my first bullies, so like, are you
exactly.
gonna top that, bitch? I got mommy issues, I got daddy issues, I got fucking issues.
Oh,
Are
I've
you
got
gonna be
total
worse than
mommy
that?
issues.
Are you gonna be worse than that? No? Okay. Well, haha, you're blocked, move on. My favorite are when people just DM you and they're like, "Hi."
Yeah.
Or when you get like civvies who are just like, "We should collab." No. Who the fuck are you? Like, no reputable content creator is gonna do that. Like, no. That's not how this works, bud. Are you willing to sign the contracts? Are you willing to give me photos of your ID? Are you willing to, fucking do all the shit that you're supposed to do? Make accounts. Are you willing to realize that it runs and does get checked on your background check and travel checks? Yeah.
Yeah, and see, like, or like, I get these people, they get in my DMs, guys, they get in my DMs and they're like, hi, and they'll say hi like 500 times. And then they'll finally say, I think you're pretty. And it's like, okay, you could have said that like 500 messages ago, but thank you.
Yeah, no. You get, if you get slapped with it, you need to subscribe to me to talk to me. I'm not here to waste my time on social media DMs. I'm not getting paid for that time.
Exactly.
Every minute is money.
That's true. But see, where like so many people are DMing me just to buy panties. I'm
Do
just like,
it. I
yeah,
wish I had a panty following. I got a big ass box. Look at this box. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all of this. There's so many. So fucking many. I have like over 60 pairs and like just here, just chilling, waiting.
see,
Waiting.
my thing is like I had this guy, he came up in my DMs and he said it was on my Instagram. The Instagram that I use for like the, cam girl sort of thing, right? Not like how you do it, but just like OnlyFans style.
Hey,
um,
OnlyFans has live streaming options. So many different platforms have live streaming options. That is absolutely no different than what I do. I mean, like, sure, Strip Chat, Chatterbait, those sites, it's different, but it's not.
oh, I know
Like,
it's not like fundamentally different. It's just I'm not into like the live stream content. I'm into more like the photos or videos, things
I've been
like
doing a
that.
lot of that. That's what did this, because you know what? It's a different pillar scheme. So you have your fan and clip sites, and that's for videos, which that's not going to bring you instant money.
No.
That's not instant relief. That's not I need something now. That's investment, and you build that. That is your empire you build up. Like, live streaming will help you bring in the following that will eventually go over to do that. They'll help you build the confidence and the ability to realize it's it's something I can do, and how you can up and improve your content, because you start to get an idea, like live feedback on what's going on. So they're two different worlds, but like they're very, if you learn how to juggle and balance the two, golden.
All right. Yeah. I think that, like, I've been thinking about the live streaming, but I'm just not into it. You know what I
If you're
mean?
not into it, that will show on camera. If you're not
That's
into
what I'm
it,
saying.
don't
Like,
get into it.
I'm
If you're
trying to
not
figure out
into
a
it,
way that I
stick what you're
could be
into.
into it, That way it's like, it doesn't, because, see,
Try
I do
private
acting.
shows. Try
Private
private
shows.
shows.
Hmm.
See if like if sitting and doing like a private show is something you'd be more into. Because like if you can handle that, you're pretty much good and gold.
Okay, yeah, that seems more doable though. I have the anxiety issue, even though like I'm into like the acting and theatrics and stuff. It's like I'm not 100% on that when it comes to like the OnlyFans or Fansly or anything like that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does. Everybody does their thing a different way. And it's the best thing is just do whatever is best suited to you, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to read on camera. That's what's going to read to everybody who's watching it. If you are uncomfortable, they're going to tell.
Oh
They're
yeah,
going to know.
that's true in like just regular film too. Like where we do short films and like I've been in other films, it really does show. So
Yeah.
the whole thing is, for that we actually do like these warm up things where it's like, you just like improv games where it's
Oh,
like,
see, if I'm having a day like that, I'll just go and I'll edit content and I'll do some other aspect of the work, and I'll just be like, today is not a filming day.
just do something else.
Just do something else. And I think that's what I love about it, is like I've made it work with my mental health issues.
That's what I like about being an independent contractor for like my day job stuff.
Oh, it's glorious.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
You can make your own schedule and you're just there. You could take off if you need to. You don't have anything set. So yeah, I totally get that too.
If I'm having a mental breakdown day, I can take the day off without sitting there going, I'm gonna lose my fucking job.
It's a
and
breakdown.
stressing.
I need nuggies and chocolate milk.
Oh my god, I need nuggies. I'm gonna have some nuggies now. I'm gonna have nuggies. That's what I'm having for dinner now. You've implanted the thought. Thank you for telling me what I'm having for dinner.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just
Much appreciated. But it looks like you said we are about near time running out. So I'll leave it at this. If you feel like checking me out, visceralvixen69.com is where you can find me. I'm on most social media. I am on so many platforms, it's not even funny. Yeah, and you can find my voting links for everything. Everything's there. It's a big link tree.
All right. It's been awesome talking to you.
It is
and thanks for being our very first guest.
Thank you for being my very first podcast. I was anxious as hell.
Oh no, we're really chill. We're really chill. I mean, we literally had like a 5-10 minute thing about edibles. So I mean,
I'm gonna have a bowl afterwards, because like that's how I'm gonna celebrate Victory Bowl.
Why not?
That's right. Victory Bowl and nuggies. Yes.
Anyway, it's been really awesome. Mike, anything else you want to say?
Can you guys hear me? Because I kind of got a phone call. I got a phone call. That's why I kind of stepped out for a minute, but had fun interviewing you. And Michaela, you did a really good job with hosting this, and hope we can do it again.
I hope we can do it again as well. Have a wonderful night, guys.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.